The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
On the back was a picture of a Hawaiian queen, and one inside page were his name, his mother's name, and his date of birth. On the other were his infant footprints. So when I read that,
Mickey,
I knew...
Could you stop right there for 1 minute?
Yes.
I read that this morning on Bertha Report. I called Nikki very early this morning and asked her if she knew about that. And the other reason I asked Nikki is because she's an expert of Kapolani Medical Center. And would you please explain to the audience how you knew right away what I was talking about with the ink drawing, and you referred me to a page in your book, Mickey. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said what he's describing is another made-up story. What he's describing is a souvenir birth certificate that is issued or given out by the hospital. And it's a little, I guess about 5.5 by 4 inches, little pamphlet, leaflet that you open, and on the cover is the ink drawing, and on the inside cover is Queen Kapiolani, and then it says this certifies that, and I'm looking at my son's. The pamphlet is actually done in blue ink on white, and mine is typed in with my son's name, Fred and my name, the time and the date of birth, and that he was male, 8 pounds, 9 ounces, length 20 inches. So anyway, and on the back, it has a brief history of the hospital. So I knew right away, you know, he's lying, because if they had this, remember in his book he wrote that he found his birth certificate in a book. This was before the election, and
page
nothing
26
has
of Dreams. Page 26, Dreams from My Father. Go ahead, Mickey.
Yeah, Dreams from My Father. Okay. So what? And everybody's been asking, what if they had a birth certificate? Why didn't he show it? And if they had this one, even though it's only a souvenir certificate and probably forged, because it's so easy to do so on this little thing, it's not an official thing. And anyway, why would they 2 weeks later come out with a forged copy of the Department of Health birth certificate? You know, so none of this passes the smell test. So it just really irks me, because I know, you know, when they came out with that forgery, and I looked at that, and what I immediately saw was that the doctor was Dr. David A. Sinclair, who was my doctor, and he delivered Alan. And it just really ticked me off, because I think that I know as much about the birth certificates of Hawaii than anybody else that I know of. And I also saw that stamp of Alvin Tionaka, the state registrar. I saw that, and I saw that there was a misspelling in the stamp, and there was also like a little happy face drawn on it. And so even though I'm not, you know, Adobe Illustrator expert with all of the layers, that's not what I saw. I saw some blatant anomalies on that thing, that and a poke in the eye that they would put my doctor's name on that certificate, just because. And the same thing, I'm looking at this, and I know darn well that they're trying to discredit the things that I put out there in print. Now, Mike mentioned my book, Memoirs of a Community Organizer from Hawaii, and on Amazon for $9.99 you can get the Kindle version, and the pages are in color, and you can see this pamphlet with the blue ink and everything that is contained on that pamphlet. Now, as far as, you know, the only difference between what they're describing in Obama's alleged one is that it has his baby footprints on it. And so, you know, if that's true, I mean, why aren't they showing this, right? So it's just made up stuff. And for a little, what do you call, a little embellishment in there, they stick it on there that he's got a baby foot, you know, his baby footprints on there, when in fact his birth certificate from Kenya there's a baby footprint on it. So I guess that they just put it in there because they thought it might sound good. So anyway, this is a bunch of bullcrap, and I'm ready to challenge them. Anything about this souvenir certificate.
Mickey, I want to make one thing clear to the audience. Your son, Alan, was born in Capilani Medical Center. That's why when I called you this morning, within 3/4 of a second of me talking about the ink drawing and the Queen Capilani, you knew exactly what I was talking about. You told me, Mike, go to page 2, and I ran for my book as fast as I can. Am I correct in what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It's page 2 of the photographs. The first page in my photograph section, the very first page, is John Jay's letter to George Washington requesting that that they be sure that they only have natural-born citizens to be the commander-in-chief of the American Army. That's my first page. And the very second page is this souvenir certificate of birth, of live birth, and it has the whole history of Kapiolani, because I've seen so many erroneous emails going out there that said that Kapiolani wasn't even Kapiolani when Obama was allegedly born. And so I wanted to, they said that it had another name, that it was some kind of children's center, but that's not true. Kapiolani was always Kapiolani Hospital. In 1978, they merged with Kauai Keolani Children's Hospital. So I don't know where that erroneous info came from, but if anybody wants to know about Kapiolani Hospital, including their not acknowledging that Obama was there, but they also don't acknowledge that they received a letter from him on the 100th anniversary of the hospital, got a letter on White House stationery where he congratulated the hospital for their 100th birthday and claimed that it was, it's special because it's the hospital of my birth. And WorldNet Daily got a photo of that letter, and then it disappeared. And I have checked. I have gone to Kapiolani several times, and I talked to people, and they were going to find out if that letter existed. And they later contacted me and say, I can't comment on that. We're going to decline any kind of an answer. So, and also Abercrombie spoke at the celebration, the 100-year celebration, spoke and read that letter. And then after that, the letter disappeared, and first calls that were sent to the hospital, they did acknowledge that it was being kept in a vault. And then later, when I went there and asked them to confirm that, that's when they said that they couldn't comment on it. So that's Kapiolani. Oh, and yeah, like I said, the book, if you get the Kindle version or the e-book version, all of the photographs are in color, which is different. The one that you have, Mike, is only in black and white, but you are exactly right.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.